Now that I have completed drawing my lines on one side of my paper, I am ready to start painting. So our next step is going to be creating a pattern using colors and some tools that are analogous colors. So if we look at the color wheel, here we have yellow at the top. So if I'm going to do analogous colors, that means I can go 4 colors over in any one direction. So I have yellow, so I have to start there. And I'm going to be working towards yellow, green, green, and blue, green. I don't want to go all the way to blue. I can't have just some blue, but I can use some blue paint to help get some of the blue greens by mixing. So my options for paints with this paper color are yellow, green, and blue. And then I have some options for tools. I have some rubber rollers that are they're kind of stiff, but as there's a few different patterns. This one has sort of polka dots. I have scrapers, which also have different patterns, different shapes along the edges. And we have a sponge roller. Okay, you are allowed to use at least 2 of the 3 tools. You can use them all, but if you are using them, you are in charge of cleaning them. So once you've decided what colors you're going to use, you're going to flip your paper over. So you are going to be painting on the side without the lines, and then you'll ask your teacher to bring the paints. Now, even though I have yellow paper, I want to put some yellow paint on my paper because I want to get some of the yellow greens. I'm also going to put some green on the paper, and I'm going to do some mixing around, and I think I might even add some blue. So I'm going to start with the scraper, and what you do is you just kind of take it and kind of push the paint around. Now you can see how that sort of moves the paints together, mixes them together, gives you a bunch of different types of greens, but you want to be careful that you don't mix so much that it all ends up being the same color. The other thing you want to make sure that you're doing is working all the way to the edge. Now this is pretty green right now, so I'm going to add a little bit of blue to it in a few other spots, and maybe I'll even try to get it closer to the edge so I can bring some of the paint there, because I want to go all the way to the edge and maybe even off the paper. So now I can take my scraper and sort of bring it up, and you see how that now makes a blue-green? But I don't want to do it to the point where all I have is blue-green now either. So I'm just going to do a few mixing, and I'm sort of swirling it as I mix it. And there, did you see how I went off the paper? I held it flat, and that helped me get a lot more of the paint onto the paper. So now that I'm pretty happy with the coverage on my paper, I can think about my other tools. I'm sort of making little S's with this as I go around, which is kind of fun. Now I'm going to push it around, and you can see how that makes another sort of pattern. And I think I'm just going to do that on the top and the bottom, because I sort of like the swirls that I created in the middle. And then once you're happy with your work, you are going to be taking this over to the drying rack. Remember where your class code is. I will pick this up, and look, I'm going to have a dirty table, so I'm going to have to wash the table as well.